Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Starstatus Chris, man. Back with another video. Let's go ahead and make sure to smash that like button. That's what helps make us more visible here on this YouTube, man. So if y'all can please start the video off with just hitting that like button for your guy, I would highly appreciate it. So on my last video, I got a comment that I just could not, like, it just kept like just replaying in my head every time. Like I would log off and I was like, man, maybe I should. And it was a comment saying, hey, do the Fat Pat breakdown. And I was like, yo, I would be honored to, because I'm a big Fat Pat fan as well. So it was like, I think like the story is not really out there, and I'm like, why not do it? So let's go ahead and break it down. Why not? Like I said, hit the like button. So from people around Houston, man, it's a lot of speculation around Fat Pat name. Like, some people say he was heavy in the game, and some people say like he wasn't really that heavy in the game like that. But you have a majority of the people saying that he was heavy in the game, you know. But you know, that's just kind of like the hearsay. You know, they say that he was heavy in the game, and during that time, you know, he was doing a lot of concerts. Like, he was like that would be the thing for like artists like definitely Southern artists. Like, you got places like Texas that are so dang big that you can like do shows in, and around Houston. You can go to Austin, you can go to San Antonio. It's just so many different places, and Pat just tapped into that, and he was able to link up with different people and able to get his show money. So that's another reason why people said that he wasn't really in the D game like that, because he was already getting money from, you know, music and from his shows. But he had happened to hit the link up with this promoter, and from what I've been told, the promoter was out of Austin, and he had a street background to him as well. You know, he was just, you know, trying to also, you know, get into the whole music and the whole putting together show thing as well. And what better way to do that by linking up with Pat, which is, he had the most craziest buzz down there, you know, and he's trying to get into the music business. Pat is already in the music business, already has a dope name, and already is pretty much selling out shows. So Pat ended up linking up with this promoter out of Austin, and pretty much started doing shows. You know, they started doing shows. Everything's going good. They have a good working relationship. The money is good, and you know, everything is going good for them. So it's like really it wasn't really like a bad relationship, because it was beneficial. Like I said, the promoter, he's trying to get in the music industry. Pat is in the music industry. He's able to, you know, he's trying to get out the D game at the time. So he's able to, you know, get a legal bag. So Pat is doing these shows for the promoter, and they started doing these shows, and everything's going good. But I think they didn't make like all the money back off of like maybe one or two shows. So like when artists do shows, like you typically get a front end and then you get the back end. And I think Pat had got like he got the front end for the shows, but he didn't get the back end, because like I said, some of the shows didn't, I don't know if they didn't get like well promoted, but he wasn't able to get the money. So like I said, the promoter, you know, he's a street guy as well. You know, he's a street guy, so he you know, pretty much talks to Pat about the shows, like not having a back end, like, hey, you know, I don't got the money, but I got some work for you, you know, would you take that? And Pat is like, yo, I'm trying to get out the game. I'm not, you know, trying to involve myself with, you know, getting back into that trade, because I'm, you know, I'm doing good with my music. People are buying it. I'm doing these shows. So he declines the offer on taking the money and not taking the money, but taking the work, you know, from the actual promoter at that time. So fast forward, the promoter, you know, he's in the game. So he has different stash houses, you know, set around Austin, set around, you know, different areas of Texas. And one of the houses get cleaned out. right before a concert that Pat had in Austin. So when I say got cleaned out, like I mean, gotta break it down for people that don't know, like how the streets work. It basically got robbed, so it wasn't. It was I don't know if it just was like money and or just work or was it both. But one of the houses got cleaned out, and it was right before the show. So word got around to the promoter like that Pat had something to do with it, and he ended up bringing it up to Pat, like basically like, yo, what's up? Like this is what I'm hearing on the street, and they saying that you have some responsibility behind that, and Pat pretty much says like, yo, I told you I stopped hustling, like you tried to pretty much pay me with work in the past, and I told you I didn't want it. So why would I turn around and hit one of your houses, and that wouldn't make no sense, So it didn't make no sense. So I guess the promoter went ahead and was like, okay, that makes sense. Like he do got a point. So now we gonna fast forward. So about a month later, the plug he decides to take a trip down to Houston to get back right. Like I said, like times went by, he's able to get back on his hustle, back on his grind, and he's able to shoot out to Houston and go looking for some work. So he puts in the call to Pat, and like I said, like yeah, Pat wasn't in the game, but he was around people that were still in the game. So he looks at Pat like, oh, that's a good way for me to call him. I can also call him about the shows, and if we can link some more stuff back up, but I can also get some insight on if he know where I can get some work from. And that was the whole point of him actually like reaching out back to Pat about everything. Like he just wanted to, like I said, see if he can kill two birds with one stone, because he still owed Pat for some shows, but he also wanted to, get right while he was down there in Houston. So Pat tells him on the phone like, yo, I told you I'm not on that type of grind no more, and I don't want him getting involved with any of that. And they, like I said, they talked about doing some more shows, and then he's like, okay, well, that's fine. Let's just, focus on the show. And I think Pat had also acquired about getting paid for the last show they had in Austin. And the promoter, like, pretty much tells him, like, yo, I can give you this, give you that back, once I actually, get some work and I'm able to, get you back right. But, my house got, stuck up. So I don't, I'm still kind of, I'm trying to get back in a situation where I can actually pay you the money. So, and also remember that, the promoter is thinking in the back of his head at the same time that, maybe, Pat got something to do with this, but, he didn't have no solid evidence. So he just has to kind of go, with the flow, with the flow at the time. Like, okay, well, I don't got nothing to stick. So, the promoter pulls off after, engaging with Pat about everything and, not being able to get no work. And, he just continues to ride around the city. So he continues to ride around the city. And some of Pat's people see the promoter riding around the city. Now, they just got word from Pat that, yo, he's riding around with some bands. Like, he riding around with probably about 30, 50,000, if not more. So he's telling this to some people that really, are really probably, about that life, that really will, really go out there and really like stick something up for that money. So they get word that, he has all this money on him. So they come up with the idea of like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and, rob him real quick, and that's what they did. So Pat's people end up sticking up the promoter for the money that he had that was pretty much going to put him like back on his feet to be able to like to start doing shows and everything again. And after this situation happens, I don't think, well, obviously we got to say that Pat wasn't aware that like his crew had just, stuck him up or nothing, because he answered the phone and, the promoter actually hit him up, like pretty much saying like, hey, I got the money, go ahead and just meet me at, this address here. And that's what Pat did. So Pat goes thinking that he's about to get the rest of his money for some shows. and he ends up catching some shots and ends up, passing away, unfortunately. So that's pretty much the whole Fat Pat story. If I left some things out, let me know in the comments. I know I'm gonna have a lot of people from Houston and Texas probably watching this video, but if I left anything out, let me know, man. Like I said, smash that like button. Thanks for giving me your view, man. Appreciate your love and support. Signing out, your boy Starstatus Chris.